So what to do with nearly $2 billion? Idaho's record surplus has Idaho lawmakers wasting little time figuring out what exactly to do with it. Day 3 of the 2022 session, Idaho Republicans already have a major tax bill in the works, and they are touting it as a great give back to Idahoans. The Dems, however, argue this proposed legislation would mostly and unfairly just give back to the state's wealthiest. The middle class, they say, would benefit more from a tax break. Joe Paris listened to those on both sides of this bill to ask the question, is this the one, or does this one still need some work?
Idaho lawmakers hit the ground running this week, and already they have a major tax bill to debate. Idaho Republicans are touting this new legislation as a simple give back and tax cut for Idahoans as the state sits on millions and millions in budget surplus dollars.
We've got inflation going crazy across the nation and across the state. It's important to get this money back to the people.
House Majority Leader Republican Mike Moyle is one of the sponsors of the tax bill. He says the bill will consolidate Idaho's income tax brackets from 5 down to 4 with the new lower rates of 1%, 3%, 4.5%, and 6% respectively for each bracket. Now, the highest tax bracket will be for people who make $5,000 and more. The bill would also lower the corporate income tax from 6.5% to 6%, and it also provides a one-time income tax rebate of $350 million, returning approximately 12% of Idaho taxes paid in 2020, or $75 for each taxpayer independent, whatever amount is greater.
Most people in Idaho are in that upper bracket, so we're taking care of most Idahoans with that bill. But it is, some people don't pay any taxes. It makes it hard to give back money when they don't pay taxes. That's why the bill's written the way it is, though. We do give them $75 for every man, woman, and child if they don't pay taxes.
Representative Moyle says with the budget surplus, Republicans simply want to give Idahoans their tax dollars back.
Get it to their hands so they can use it to kind of offset some of the costs that are going up now.
Idaho Democrats say they appreciate the idea, but that this tax bill doesn't help those who need it most.
Now we have an opportunity to prioritize working Idahoans and bolstering the middle class, and this tax bill would squander that opportunity.
Assistant House Minority Leader, Democrat Lauren Necochea says the cuts would direct the largest benefits to the top of the income spectrum.
Idaho Democrats would love to see us take those dollars that we have that are available and put them into property tax reduction, and would also want to have a conversation about repealing the sales tax on groceries.
Necochea adds that the tax brackets proposed don't really translate to everyone giving a fair share.
Yeah, there's no reason why a millionaire should pay the same percentage of their tax as a teacher. And we would absolutely support expanding those tax brackets to make those adjustments.
Every man, woman, and child is going to get something. It's a good bill, and it's going to lower our tax rates, makes us more competitive nationwide. It's going to help the state of Idaho look better to bring businesses here, and it's going to help people stay in their homes and jobs and work here and stay here for their lives. It's going to make it better for Idahoans, which is a good thing.
Idaho Democrats argue the surplus being used for this cut really isn't a surplus, but instead the result of bad policies and investments.
We underfund a lot of the things that local government has to do and that schools have to do. So if we put more of that state funding and directed it to schools and local governments, we could reduce property taxes substantially, and that's what Idahoans are asking for.
Moyle says it doesn't have to be one or the other.
There's enough to do a lot of things that need to be done and want to be done for a long time.
Which is what I was just going to ask you, Joe. I mean, They could address this grocery bill tax and also the property tax thing at a later date, for sure. There's still a lot of time left in the legislation, but this is still fairly early, and is this one going to get enough traction to maybe even go to the governor's desk?
Well, some early indicators, Brian, to me from my sources in the State House and from the Idaho Republicans, is that there is some consensus that this is a winner, according to the Republicans. In the governor's office and Representative Moyle, who we just heard from, they both confirmed to me that the governor says if this were to get to his desk, this is a piece of legislation that he would sign off of. And really, Brian, when we heard the governor talk about a tax rebate plan or a tax cut plan in the State of the State on Monday, this is really what that legislation is. So Representative Moyle really works with some stakeholders, including the governor's office, to negotiate what this tax bill would look like. And Representative Moyle admitted to me it's not exactly what he would want, but it is the result of a compromise with the governor's office. And at the end of the day, the governor needs to sign off on it unless they override him. But it's important to have his support on this. Meanwhile, though, the Idaho Democrats are pushing back, saying there could be better ways to use this money.
So a compromise within the Republican Party, but not necessarily including the Democrats in this compromise, I guess.
Yeah, good clarifier there.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Joe.